Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Hello there. So, we're in a Mazda 2. It's faulty, it might break down, it's filthy dirty, and the interior is absolutely full of rubbish. But nonetheless, we'll have a good look around and take a test drive. Welcome to Car Spy TV. Okay, let's get started. This is a slightly broken Mk1 Mazda 2. It was registered on Christmas Eve in 2004, so presumably it was somebody's present. It has a 1.4 litre petrol engine, 5-speed manual transmission, front-wheel drive, and is covered just over 133,000 miles. So let's have a look at the interior, shall we? This Mazda 2 has the Capella trim, which means it looks rather nice in here, and indeed it has quite a decent specification considering it's effectively a old, fairly basic mini MPV. So let's have a look at the instrument cluster to get started, and as you can see, it's clear and easy to read. Moving back onto the steering wheel, we do have audio controls here on the left. The wand behind the steering wheel, that's your indicators and lights, and the other wand, because one is never enough, that one there is your wipers. Moving down here, we do have 4 electric windows, no less, a full set, and electric mirrors, and look, a little bit more storage there. What on earth is that? No idea. Moving to the center of the dashboard, it has this rather nice silver effect. We have a CD player there. We have air conditioning and good old-fashioned heater controls, although these controls do feel a little bit flimsy, and this one in particular, that feels like it might break quite soon, so I'm going to leave that alone. Moving even further back, there are a couple of cup holders which are currently holding sunglasses and general litter. No idea what that thing's for. The gear stick, as I said, is a 5-speed manual. The top of this one has disintegrated though, but it still works. That's okay. Manual handbrake, of course. Quite nice blue seats under all the dust. Now, what this car also has is loads of storage. Let me show you. So, we have a compartment up here, which is currently full of CDs. What have we got? Delta Goodrum. I don't think I'll be playing you that one. There's a little shelf here, again full of stuff. There's the main glove box here with more CDs in it, but look, there's an additional little pot there. Yep, close those up. Well, fairly small door cards, but nonetheless big enough to be useful. So, quite nice. Okay, well, it's a bit tricky to show the back of the car because I can't get in, and I'll show you why. We've got this child seat here on the near side, and if we follow along, all these sorts of things there and down there in the floor well, yeah. Nonetheless, I have moved the front passenger seat forward as far as it will go to give you some idea how much legroom there is when the car's empty. And there is a decent amount considering this is a small little car. We also do have 3 headrests, even the middle one goes up and down. Now, as I said to you, we have electric windows in the back, and you operate that there. A little bit of storage for your rubber ball. The door card, well, that's quite good. Obviously, you've got room for your candles, but in the front there, that's shaped to take a drinks bottle. Decent headroom too. Under the bonnet we have a 1.4 litre petrol engine which is mounted transversely, and it produces about 79 horsepower. Now, having a look down here, I suspect this engine is driven by a timing belt which needs replacing every now and then rather than a timing chain. But more to the point today, confession time. The other day this car broke down, and that's because it had a horrendous coolant leak. This is the expansion tank for the cooling system, and coolant was escaping down there at a prolific rate. The car lost probably 90% of its coolant. The engine started to overheat, but luckily the owner noticed in time and pulled over before she blew up her engine. So that's why today is going to be a very brief test drive. As for your basic checks, this one here is your brake fluid reservoir. We have the power steering here, dipstick for the engine oil there with a yellow handle. And if you want to check your battery with an analyzer, well, that's over here. Next to the most exciting thing of all, this, where you top up your windscreen washer reservoir. There's a very small spider living in here. He's just there at the end of my finger, running up as we speak. What do you think of the car, mate? Must be shy. As for the boot, it is a good size on this 2004 Mazda 2. So you've got plenty of room for your rather nice hat and your wellies. And there's more to consider. Have a look at the side of the car. And we can see that it has a high roof that stays high all the way to the back. And then the tailgate, once that's closed, that stays fairly flat as well. And that helps you store big tool items in your boot. Whereas many cars, of course, they have a sloping roof and tailgate, and that compromises what you can get in. And there's more. Have a look. Now, as you'd expect, you can fold these seats flat if you want additional space. You can do that easily from the back by pressing that and sliding it forward. And what's good, little safety feature, if you don't reconnect that seat properly, you get this red tag there to show you that it's not safe. So when I put it back properly, you can see that red tag disappears. Nice little feature. We also have, well, it's one of these roller blind things rather than a typical parcel shelf, and I personally find these a little bit irritating and a little bit fiddly, but never mind. This one also comes out very easily, like so, if you want yet more space. So overall, what was that on my finger? Who knows? Overall, a good size practical boot, especially considering this is a fairly small car. Well done, Mazda. Okay, so let's take this car for a quick test drive, and this is genuinely going to be the quickest test drive in all of history because, as I said earlier, we are losing coolant at a prolific rate, and I don't want to blow up the engine, particularly in someone else's car. So, we are in neutral. Hopefully it'll start okay. Yes, it does. Right, now, even though we're only driving this car briefly today, I have driven it quite extensively on previous occasions, so I can nonetheless tell you what's what. As soon as this Ford Transit gets out of the way anyway. Okay. And off we go. Someone else blocking the road now. So, in summary, the gearbox is quite clunky and agricultural, although part of that may well be wear and tear. The steering, quite light, fairly slow to respond, but nonetheless it suits the car. The ride quality, it is a little bit unsettled, and this car does get quite noisy at speed, but nonetheless it's not too bad. As for acceleration, it picks up very nicely, this little 1.4 at town speeds, so no problems there. Fourth gear now, 30 miles an hour. Let's have a go on the brakes. Quite responsive. We do have ABS on this one as well to stop the brakes locking up. So overall, not the most refined little car you'll ever drive, but considering its age, it's all right. And that concludes the shortest test drive in the world. Now, originally this car had remote central locking, so you could open it via this key fob, but as you can see, the key has, shall we say, seen better days. So you now have to open the door with this key, which is very bent. Oh dear. So there's a good look at this 2004 a Mazda 2 1.4 petrol Capella. In summary, I'd say it's practical because there's lots of space for a small car. It's got a decent equipment specification considering what it is and how old it is. And okay, it doesn't drive particularly well, but nonetheless, it's not too bad either. And despite having a coolant leak today, it's been with its current owner for about 6 years, and I've been reliably informed that it's never let her down until the other day. So it's been a good, solid, trustworthy workhorse. Now, I'm interested to know what you think about this 2004 Mazda 2, so why not pop down to the comment section, let me know what you like about it, what you don't like, maybe you've got one. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content, do me a favour and click like on this video, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.